Welcome back, guys, to the Geek Critique Show. We're Jenn and Dakota, and we're here at New York Comic Con, as you can see.
It's huge.
Yeah, so yesterday we got a little behind-the-scenes look at what used to be in Doctor Who. We snuck into the Matt Smith, Jenna Coleman,
Alex Kingston
panel.
I have grown far more in love with.
Yeah.
I loved her, but now I'm in love with her. So
she's
really progressed.
She's a very eloquent actress. Actually, she has a lot to say and put things in the right order, I think.
And really, deep things like on a topic that you wouldn't really think. Yeah, it's not really constituted. Like, she doesn't really have to go into that, but she does, and she's fantastic in every way, shape, and form.
And so was Matt and
and Jenna. Yeah, they were great. So that was a really fun watch. But we got a lot more information at today's panel.
Yeah.
So we have a lot to say.
Yeah, we went to the BBC America Takeover panel, which was the very first ever New York Comic Con panel that took place at the theater at Madison Square Garden.
Which is really cool.
And I'm honored to be a part of that. That was awesome. And to think that Doctor Who was the one who inaugurated that experience for New York Comic Con attendees was pretty awesome. We also got a lot of other stuff.
Yes. So we saw the Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, the first episode. So we have a lot to say about that because that was, honestly, guys, that was phenomenal.
I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, I literally completely 100% engaged the entire time, even though that's not what I went in for.
Right.
We also saw a little bit of a look at Class, so we saw the trailer for that.
Yeah, we saw the world premiere of the trailer actually, which was awesome.
So that was cool.
And Doctor Who, we got to see Peter Capaldi, we got to see Pearl Mackie come on stage, Stephen Moffat, a bunch of people. So that was really awesome.
Yeah, we have so much to tell you guys.
All right,
really
so let's start with Jen.
Yes,
we have to. If you are a fan of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Douglas Adams, anything that Douglas Adams has ever produced, I think you're going to really like this.
Yes.
Because, like they were saying on the panel, this is probably going to be the most Douglas Adams, or closely adapted Douglas Adams thing to ever be shown on TV or movies. So that's really awesome. Yeah,
the writer, you could really sense his love for Douglas Adams, and not only his appreciation and admiration and respect, but also just like his full grasp of that writer, of his intentions, his strengths, his weaknesses, what needs to be brought out, and what's been done wrong in the past with Douglas Adams' work. So
let's talk a little bit about the first episode. We were introduced to Dirk Gently, played by Sammy Barnett. We got to meet Elijah Wood's character.
Elijah Wood wasn't there at the panel.
Unfortunately, everyone else was. But
yeah, everyone else was.
We got to meet the entire cast of characters on stage and in the show, and all the disparate different plot points and the wackiness that goes on in any Douglas Adams story. And it was just perfect.
Yes,
it was perfect.
It really was absolutely perfect. The episode itself just comes with a lot of different surprises.
It's very crazy.
And it's very chaotic, very messy, but also very concisely written. I don't know how else to put that. It flows very well together, I guess.
It's a very tight script.
Yes.
And it keeps you on the edge of your seat for as long as you're on that seat.
Yeah.
Because
there's no scenes where it's just like you don't really, I don't know, like you're kind of zoning out a little bit, or you're not engaged. You're literally engaged. I don't know if the whole season's gonna be like that, but this entire episode I was completely engaged and like thinking.
It was funny, it was clever, and honestly it surprised me several times with both its intensity and its humor.
Yeah.
And the interplay between the two, like some of the wackiness that would go on in the actual episode.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Or really like twisted or violent, and that just honestly came out of nowhere. And it was something else.
Oh my gosh, and guys, so when the cast came out, onto the onto the
stage,
thing.
yeah.
There's a corgi in the episode,
Yeah.
and they brought out all the corgis that they used to film that. Can we play that in the corner or something?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was the cutest thing. And we got to meet them after they were outside, and we got to pet them. That's just a side note, but I was so happy.
It was beautiful.
It was a beautiful thing. I got a corgi pin. Look at my corgi pin.
Yeah. For her Ace cosplay, I don't know if you've noticed.
Oh yes. Hello. But yeah, so
let's get into Class. Written by Patrick Ness, who's a famous author.
yeah. He seems like a really cool guy. He really knows his crap, and
he's a big fan of Doctor Who.
He's a big fan of Doctor Who, but he's original, and I think he is gonna just completely.
And I think what he wants to do with
this is
Class
this is a very unique show. I think
is he wants to take the idea of Doctor Who and totally refresh it, give it new eyes in the forms of 4 classmates of the Coal Hill Academy that is going to be featured in the show and was featured in the very first episode on Unearthly Child, and as well as a bunch of episodes.
Yeah,
it was in
that's
Remembrance of the Daleks.
Well, there's a lot of stuff, and I think this is just going to kind of be the residual that the Doctor leaves behind when he goes. And it's kind of like, I have a feeling just based on what they said, and I could be 100% wrong, but he's going to be in like the first episode and then at the very end. Like just a little bit in the first, like he leaves, and then at the end of the season, he comes back.
Yeah.
But that's just the impression that I got. Nobody explicitly said that.
The glimpses that we got of the show, Peter Capaldi was very involved, but I'm assuming that was all episode 1, so
yeah,
we'll see where that goes.
I was assuming that was the end.
Oh, well, I don't know. Either way. Time-wimey.
But yeah, no, it was really cool. Patrick said some really funny and candid points. One that I kind of wanted to share with you guys was someone at the panel asked him the question, about cameos of, other people from the past that went to that school, or Clara, for example, who taught at that school. And he said that cameos are like penises. If you show a penis in the scene, everyone's just going to focus on that and not at anything else.
Right.
So he really just wants people to focus on the material and not just get distracted by, oh, this is a reference to David Tennant and this is a reference to, you know what I mean?
But for those who are looking for those Easter eggs, you will find them and you will be pleased.
He said you won't be let down, but it's not going to be in your face.
Right,
basically.
Right. The cast of Class was extremely, extremely excited to, be a part of Doctor Who because they grew up in the UK during that Doctor Who mania craze, and it was so exciting as a fan to see them be so excited for what they're doing.
Yeah. One of the actors kept saying that he had gotten in trouble several times for like taking pictures with the
TARDIS.
Yeah. So it was really cool. They were really enthusiastic.
They played Pokemon Go on set.
Yes, they did. And told
is
us about the Pokemon
exciting.
that were there.
Of course, a lot of Charmanders and Squirtles.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
that was pretty cool. But yeah. So how about we talk about the
highlight.
Yeah, the highlight. What we've all been waiting for, or we're waiting for.
Doctor Who. They showed us a glimpse of the
Christmas special.
new masked hero in the Christmas special named Grant. And he's kind of based off of Stephen Moffat's childhood love of superheroes, which is kind of cool. And it'll be interesting seeing like a superhero type of character in the show that we love.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And seeing Stephen Moffat kind of geek out a little bit about his love for Superman and like his childhood memories and stuff, and I feel like you can, I don't know, like that'll be conveyed, I think, in this episode, which is cool because he was geeking out hard, man.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we weren't given like an actual trailer for the episode, so we don't really know what it's about, but we got some behind-the-scenes footage of it. And that was really cool.
Yeah, it looked like they were having a good old time.
And that's the best thing about Doctor Who is that everyone looks like they're having a good time. It's not a drudge to be on set and all that. So
it was really fun.
Pearl Mackie, the new companion who's playing Bill, very talkative. She was actually like very talkative and very excited to be there as well.
Well, she was very honest too with how she's feeling about certain stuff, or like what she went through when she got cast and stuff like that. And you know, apparently Peter Capaldi wrote her a letter saying, you know, this can get overwhelming at times, which is something that Alex Kingston actually brought up at the last panel. You know, how overwhelming it can get being in Doctor Who. But he gave her his phone number and was like, you know, I can help you out with that. And she was talking about in the third episode, there's a scene that like really took her breath away. And from what she was saying, like her third episode is her favorite of the season. So you guys stay tuned, and I'm really eager to check that out. Just based on she didn't really say much, you know, any spoilers or anything. She just said it's really beautifully done, and there's a really like wide set. So
there's also a scene where they are in a green screen room and they're facing a giant monster that they have not already put the monster in.
Yeah.
So that'll be exciting to see what they've got cooked up for us.
Yeah. And it was cool because like when asked about how because both, you know, Peter Capaldi and Pearl Mackie kind of have like you know, pretty intense attitudes. So they were asked like, is that something that you guys usually play off of each other with, or is it confrontational? And they said it's a little bit of both. So I kind of like that there's going to be some serious sass going on in this season of Doctor Who.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching.
Yeah, thank you.
Keep it tuned here. Bye,
Thanks.
guys.
Bye.